It truly is one of the most fascinating, and by fascinating I mean morbidly disturbing, things that has transpired in American politics in the last quarter century. There is a man rotting in a grave right now whose notoriety will be wrapped around the idea that he bribed some teenage girls to come to a Caribbean island and have a roll in the hay with him and some of his rich buddies. Right now, in America, that is the top of the list of things people are concerned about if we are to take what we see on X as an indication of such things. People just can't let this go. It's absolutely fascinating. There are so many worse things out there in the world happening right now, but people still are outraged because some old guy 25 years ago went to a Caribbean island and had a happy, fun, good time weekend with some teenage girls who were recompensed for the time and effort. That's what this is all about. It truly is battlefield of the mind, folks. The psychology, hopefully, sometime in the future, people will be writing books about what was wrong with Americans at this time, and they'll have figured out how to avoid it. But we break down the real story over at Patreon. We can't talk about the sordid details of it here, and breaking news alert, pardon me, we just dropped a brand new video today talking about the connection that nobody is seeing. Now, there's 4 levels over at the Florida Monkey Patreon channel, 2, 5, 10, and 15. Once again, this video is going to be for everyone because I want everyone to see this, because once you realize it, it's like, oh, gosh, what is going on? How did we miss this? For those of you that are unaware of what's going on, oh, what a tangled web we weave. When, of course, first we practice to deceive. You see, originally it was going to be Representative Anna Paulina Luna who was going to lead a task force on declassifying things like JFK and the Epstein files. And then all of a sudden, when the Attorney General come out, banned Mondi, excuse me, and she said, boy, I've got all these files on my desk and have yet to go through them, but boy, we're going to release these and get to the bottom of it. And they had their big binder fiasco where they released a bunch of nonsense to a bunch of right-wing influencers. Well, now today, they've come out and said, case closed. Case closed. We haven't found any evidence of any more wrongdoing than what's already been prosecuted. There is no list. There is no Epstein client list. Even though back in February, the contents were deemed too sensitive to national security to release. Now, I'll give you a hint. What has changed between February and now? Yes, there's a connection. Florida Monkey, that's the leader of Iran on the right. What possible connection could he have to Jeffrey Epstein? What has changed? It's very, very simple. There are some things, and I'll just give you a quick preview, that even if they exist or if they don't, you always have to pretend they do. Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Just the allegation of certain things existing, the allegation alone has to be addressed as if it was true always, even if it isn't. If you'd like further information on that and what the real connection is between Iran and Jeffrey Epstein, join us at Patreon. But you see, after Anna Paulina Luna let it go, then it went to Bondi, and then everybody said, oh, she needs to be kicked out and fired because she's not doing her job. Then they brought in Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, director and deputy director of the FBI. And they fell right into line and said, you know what? We agree. Jeffrey Epstein did off himself. Irrefutable evidence. He offed himself, and yeah, looking at the files, there's really nothing more to be done. Meanwhile, a woman rots in a prison for 20 years, Ghislaine Maxwell, partner of Jeffrey Epstein, And apparently she trafficked, giant air quotes here, children to nobody. Because if there's no client list, then nothing happened. If there's no client list, nothing happened. What is she in jail for? See, nobody finds it odd that it took all of these alleged victims decades and decades to come forward. And nobody also wants to talk about that the first real, quote-unquote, victim who was actually part of the whole recruiting scam, she was brought into the public eye by Hillary Clinton way back in 2015. Nobody had heard of any of this. Even when Hillary Clinton brought it up in 2015, it was still a 15-year-old story then. Now it's just ridiculous. But it gets even worse. It really does. Because now, Trump is sending weapons to Ukraine. He's closing the Epstein case, and he's also been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by Israel. And his statement on Epstein, the FBI under the direction of Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino is back to the basics, locking up criminals and cleaning up America's streets. We are the greatest law enforcement professionals in the world, but politics and corrupt leadership often prevented them from doing their job. That is no longer the case, and now they have been unleashed to do their jobs, and they are doing just that. Keep it up, make America safe again. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm too old to be doing videos about this. But when my father died when I was 13 years old. No one by the time I was 15 years old would have described me as a child. I had responsibilities at home. I had responsibilities at school. I knew very right well the ramifications of my actions. I didn't always make decisions at 15 years old like you would expect a full-grown adult to, but believe me, there were the full-grown consequences. And I wasn't the only one. Please, those of you out there in Gen X, meaning at least 50 years old at this point, help me out here. I knew lots of people, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, that for all real intents and purposes were just operating in the world as young adults, not having, of course, graduated high school yet, and you couldn't do couldn't go buy things, and there were certain restrictions. But no way, shape, or form were we children. And maybe that's different now, but that wasn't the case then. And I think that's what has been discovered, and that they don't want to admit on camera. That Jeffrey Epstein, for being somewhat of a pervy old billionaire, wasn't going after children. These girls all knew what they were doing, and pretty much every picture I've seen, late high school, mid to late high school, and I know it's popular today to say that, to call high school kids children, but I'm not going to be one of those people. You're never going to... I hear what they talk about when they don't think their parents are listening. I got kids all around the neighborhood here. Believe me, there comes a time when you just have to accept the facts. And the real reality is this, that nobody's even thought about. Prostitution is still a crime even if you're underage. Meaning if you willingly engaged in it, like they did, they would have to be charged as well. And that would be the problem. But why people are fixated on this, with everything going on in the world, to me, is the biggest thing to really be worried about. There are much bigger things, much more important things, than what this one particular old guy might have done or might have not done, or who he knew, or whether he died this way or died that way, or what. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time, waste of effort, but the fascination, I think, is the most damning part of American culture right now. Go look at X, go look at all the social media talking about this. Excuse me. It really makes you wonder. It makes you wonder what's really going on and why people don't want to talk about it. So I'll leave it there. Once again, love to have you over at Patreon. A brand new video is up. It's been posted for a few hours now. If you go over there, you decide to pull the trigger, sign up, go kick the tires, check it out for 90 days. What is it, the first week of July? So let's see, August, September. My goodness. It'd be the first week of October before you'd really have to make a decision before you'd risk losing any money. 90 days, full refund, no questions asked. You get a discount if you sign up for an entire year. Pretty big one, actually, in fact. At whatever level you want to sign up at. There's something there for everybody. So, I will leave it there. Talking about lots of things more important than this. But the basics of the psychology. The basics of the psychology of why this is something people are focusing on is much more important to understand so that you can look at other things. We can, as American people, look at other things through a completely different lens than what we're looking at them now. How does it go from a national security issue only in February that couldn't be released, some things we can't show you, it's a matter of national security. How does it go from that to now being case closed in 5 months? What's changed between February and now? There's one major thing, and that's as close as I'll get. So I will leave that there. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.